everyone, I'm Heather Ostera, and I'm back with another episode of Coming Home, a video series that explores the history of the Western stage by talking to its company members. Today, we have the cast of Carrie the Musical from 2016. Let's find out where they are now and what made this production one they'll never forget.
Oh my God! Lydia!
Hi!
Oh my goodness, Jackie! Oh my God! John Slover, I'm the artistic director of the Western Stage, and I was the director of our production of Carrie back in 2016. It actually just came up again. The then president of Hartnell College, Dr. Llewellyn, brings up Carrie all the time when he talks about his own experience with the Western Stage. So every year when I've picked all of the shows, the first person who gets to know the titles is the president of the college. Because once I have his approval, then anybody else that wants to complain about something, I can just say, that's nice, because the president said I could do it. So when I told him we were doing Carrie the Musical, his jaw kind of dropped. He said, that's a musical? Anyway, so he let me do it, but he talks about it now. He still listens to the music. He loved the show. He loved everything about it, and he brings it up anytime anybody asks him about the Western Stage. That's the show he talks about. There was also, some general audience skepticism about Carrie the Musical, and we did pretty extensive audience surveys that season, and a constant comment was, I really wasn't so sure about that Carrie show, but boy, once I went to see it, I loved it and had a great time. The why do Carrie the Musical? I mean, I had been aware of it when they did the revival in 2012. I mean, it was an infamous show. The original RSC production was just, whatever. It bombed in 5 performances, and they tried to bring it to Broadway, and it bombed there, and it was way overproduced. I mean, it's one of those things, if you want to go look at it on YouTube, that just is really horrible. But then they scaled it all the way back, the original people, and they revived it in 2012. And so I was kind of paying attention to it, and the right things all lined up. And obviously having a show where the majority of the cast are young people was a big plus. So what I remember, obviously the destruction scene, I mean, everything about it, just the logistics of pulling it off, that whole thing of coordinating everything, the lights, the projections, the who's dying on exactly what beat, and that it all came together is still one of the most amazing technical theater things I've ever been involved with. From Nikki snapping her own neck, and at the very end of it, when she smashes all the guys up against the wall and plucking Tommy's heart out. I mean, it's some good stuff. Also, and I just shared that video, the end of Act 1 was really a favorite of mine, in kind of the whole other extreme, because it's really almost no big time technical theater. There's some lightning and thunder, but it's really the acting, the whole progression from Michelle and David kind of setting it up and pushing Tommy on to go, invite Carrie to the prom, and that whole scene's just really wonderful acting in there. And then, Carrie going in to Mom, and as I mentioned, I mean, probably one of my favorite things in theater ever is that last bit when Carrie goes back to the table and eats the pie. So, anyway, and then, you'll all see what a great cast it was. So that's my experience.
I'm Nikki Moon. I played Frida in the show Carrie. I just remembered, right when we started, that I had all these Polaroids. And one of my favorite memories of Carrie is when we were taking all these little shots of all the cast members. I only got a few of them, a lot of the boys, and then me and David. But John came out And I guess we'd been called back to places and we hadn't heard it because we were out there, making a bunch of noise. And he comes out and he goes, "Hey, get in here and put that crap away." And I was like, "It's not crap, but okay." And like ran past him. And it was just like kind of like summed up our experience. Like we just really became these high schoolers in the show. And I remember wanting to give Annie a lot of love, who played Carrie, and just wanted to make sure that she was getting a lot of love from us because we just teased her so much in the show. And that was really special. We would like get up after like teasing her and just like hug her, like, "We love you," because we just wanted to remain close and just make sure that we had that friendship between everybody, which was really cool. It was just really awesome. I liked going to my house after rehearsal, and we'd all just hang out and take naps or between rehearsals and watch Carrie the movie. That was really fun. We did that a few times, I think. Like we're just like really obsessed, and going out to eat and just hanging out with everybody. And it was always the part that I'll never forget is starting the show, and we're all in the wings and we're looking at each other, and that epic intro music comes on.
Electric word, life, it means forever, and that's a mighty long time. But I'm here to tell you, there's something else. Teenage wasteland. Well, it never began. Teenage wasteland. Teenage wasteland. Teenage wasteland. There are ways now.
It was really magical, that whole show. It was just so cool, and getting to be so close knit with a cast. That's one of my favorite parts of doing shows. So.
Hi, my name is Josh Kaiser. I was in the ensemble in Carrie, and Carrie is always going to be probably one of the most special shows ever for me because it's actually the first show I ever did. I had never really been into musical theater or anything like that before I did Carrie. As a lot of you guys know, my mom, Joelle McGrath, she's been doing stuff at Western Stage for so long, and my sister used to do theater. And so just like my whole family is like involved in theater. I never really got into it. I was never a huge fan. But then my senior year of high school, I was in my choir class, and Heather actually came to my class one day and was, I guess, telling us about Carrie and like trying to get some young singers to audition. And I was about to graduate, and I figured, oh, why not? And I'm super glad I did. I mean, I didn't have any kind of performance experience besides singing and, playing music like drums and stuff. I never performed, but it's been such a cool experience to be able to, perform with all these super talented people and learn all these really fun songs. I think that's always been my favorite part, is the music of Carrie is just so awesome. All the songs we got to sing were so much fun. Just singing, backups and ensemble roles is just so much fun for me. I really loved every moment of this show and meeting such amazing people. And it's cool to see everyone today. I would say my favorite part, I'm probably going to echo John, actually. I really enjoyed the whole destruction scene. I thought that was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun to, try to figure out how all this kind of chaos was going to work out. I really liked the way that I got to die. I remember I was like supposed to be climbing the walls of the school, trying to like get out the window. And then Carrie comes down, I'm like, bam, and I just get squished up against the wall. And that was a lot of fun. I really liked how most people, almost everyone got their own kind of unique death, which is really cool. Carrie's really special show to me, and I'm super, super, super grateful for the experience because it led to me continuing on doing theater, and now theater is something that I really, truly love.
Thanks, Josh.
Hi, I'm Jackie Hope, and I was the gym teacher in Carrie the Musical. It was a great experience for me. For one thing, I got to be that 70s icon, Farrah Fawcett-like, with the short shorts and the tall socks. I mean, who doesn't want to be that, right? So that was amazing. And being with all the super friendly bunch of young people. I remember at our first table reading, everybody was like, so how did you guys get together when, or how did people get together back in the 70s? Like, you didn't have your phone. Like, how did you know where people were? You just drove around or went to the beach and just met people? Like, you just made plans and then showed up at a place? Like, it was funny to me that our lives are so completely different with, me growing up in the 80s and 90s and you guys now. So that was enlightening. And I thought it was really sweet how you were like, oh, look at these Polaroids. People used to do these back in the day, so you were like learning some history while we were doing this show. Another thing that was amazing, I mean, this musical isn't really given a whole lot of credit for its depth, but it really has quite an emotional range. There's some really sweet moments between Annie and David, like that are like authentically like kind and like palpably sweet first moments of that innocent spark. And then there's, the destruction and then the religious overtones. I mean, this show has quite a bit of depth. And so it was fun to be in it because the music was great and because you guys were all so much fun to play with backstage and on stage. And I got to throw a girl across the room. That was so cool. And be super supportive to Annie when everybody was being mean to her. I was like one of the kind people to you in the show, and that was nice to be one of the kind people. Yeah.
Yeah, I meant to mention that at the beginning too. One of the big reasons why I was really drawn to this show is that whole theme of bullying and with young people and what it can do to somebody's life. I mean, this takes it to a far extreme, but before we get to that point, seeing Carrie's struggles with how she's treated and how brutal that kind of behavior can be with young people, and it's obviously still a huge problem today. Anyway.
Well, hi guys, I'm Frankie. I was part of the ensemble for Carrie. I had never ever done any form of theater whatsoever in my life. I had heard about the audition the day before, and I was actually working on the day of the audition. And I've only done singing, and I was doing choir at Harnell, and it caught my eye. I was kind of intrigued about what the project was going to be. And I said, well, let me audition, let me try. And lo and behold, I was allowed to do it and given the opportunity to be a part of it. And I met so many great individuals. Unfortunately, I haven't continued anything in theater after Carrie, even though it was my first show. It was my first and my last. I'm currently working on my master's degree. I have one more year to go. I still have music as a passion in my life, but I haven't really done much ever since then. But Carrie has always been number one in my life in the sense of horror films, in the sense of the music, in the sense of being a part of a group and being a part of a memory for something that we made, I believe, was very special. Hearing you guys talk kind of like what your favorite memories and favorite scenes were, I mean, just for me being there was just, I was just in awe the entire time. So, but for me, I guess the whole part of, going back to the bullying part of the play and kind of how things are in that aspect of what Carrie went through. I mean, I went through it as well. I grew up in the same atmosphere, so that kind of drew to me as well. in the sense of her character, in the sense of what the show portrayed. And so this day, I still carry those traits of how I should carry myself as a person, how I should treat other individuals, etc. And I just will never forget this experience for me personally. Again, I was a newbie to this form of art, and now, I'm just grateful for the opportunity to do it. And to this day, I'm just glad to see everyone and how everyone's doing during this. And you too, John, you're always very, very, very sweet to me and very respectful, even though I was a random person. And I appreciate that very, very much. Thank you for being welcoming to a chunky Mexican kid who has a voice and to help out a little part. So I appreciate that very dearly. Good to see all you guys.
Hi, my name is Claire, and I played Norma. This was actually the first show that I had ever done at Western Stage, and I wasn't even planning on doing the show. I was away at college. I just had finished my first year of college, so I missed the auditions and everything. Someone reached out to me and asked if I wanted to send in a later audition because a few people had dropped out. Someone different was Norma, and then suddenly I got to be Norma, so I was really excited to get to come and do a show at Western Stage because I had never done a show there. I'd seen so many shows there growing up and always saw everything Nikki was always in there, and I always wanted to do a show there. It just never really happened. After finishing my first year of college and then being home for 4 months because our school had a really long summer, I was like, what am I gonna do? And it was so great that I was able to do Carrie during that time and get to do it with a lot of people that I already knew, and then also meet a lot of really fun people and make people who I'm still good friends with now. And so it was really nice to get to do that after starting college and everything. I'd never heard the music for Carrie. I'd never really heard of the musical, and then once I found out that I was going to be doing it, I listened to the soundtrack and I was really blown away by the music. A few people have said this, and just the music was really surprising because you never think that Carrie the Musical would have an amazing soundtrack, but it does. And just all the songs, whether it was the songs we got to sing in or not, it's I feel by the end we all knew all the music because everybody was listening to it so much because it was so fun. One of my specific favorite moments that I remember, I think, would be just the very beginning once we started in, and that first time that we did it with costumes and everybody coming out to mingle at school and get to be there, and then knowing that right after that all of us girls had to do the crazy quick change. And I was thinking about that the other day because the first time we did it, I was the only one who made it out to start the volleyball part, and I'm by myself with the volleyball, and I'm all right, no one's here because no one could get all that nonsense off to come out. I was in that little jumper also, which was crazy. I remember all of us getting our fittings for those, and we're all is this what we're supposed to look like? Because it was crazy, and it all looked so perfect. There's one group picture of us that's on Facebook where Annie's looking all sad, being Carrie, and I'm doing a crazy mean face, because it was also really fun getting to be a mean girl because I've never really done that before. I feel I've always played just a nice, normal, whatever girl, and so it was really fun getting to be Chris's little sidekick and be nasty, because that can be fun sometimes too. So yeah, I'm just really glad that I got to do this first show at Western Stage, and that led me to audition later and be in Little Women, which is also really special to me.
3, 2, 1. Hello, everyone. My name is Adrian, and oh my God. So I had never really done theater before. Theater had always, fascinated me and always gotten my attention, but I didn't actually start doing it until my junior year, or I think senior year of high school. And after my first show, I realized I want to keep doing this. So I started looking up, where else can I continue doing shows. And I heard the Western Stage, and I saw that they were doing Carrie, and I had watched the original as well as the remake, and at first I was a little surprised. I was wait, a musical off of a horror film? That's surprising, but also but I was at the same time, I was I want to do it. So I was super excited when I became a member of this production, and probably my favorite memory was just everyone being so welcoming and just everyone being so sweet to me, because I was definitely a newbie. But yeah, I think my favorite memories were just spending time with all the cast members, goofing around with a lot, especially with Josh. Josh, you remember that? um, the
Good times,
musical
man.
number.
Good times.
I would say also the rehearsals where we would always practice the death scenes were so oddly fun. I oddly had so much fun doing those death scenes. I don't know what, but I just found it so entertaining. And what's great is that that show and the experience that I had with it inspired me to continue doing theater. And so I've continued doing shows. I did more shows within the Western stage, and then where I went to for college, I continued to do more shows. Thank you, and thank you for arranging this meeting, because it feels so great to see everyone, yeah, just be here again with all of you. So thank you.
Hey guys, I'm David Crane. I play Tommy Ross in Carrie the Musical at Western Stage. And what was that? Was that 2016? Oh my God. Oh my God. That was a whole presidency ago. One of my favorite memories, I think, was this whole time sitting here, I was just thinking that like this was such a great experience of building ensemble. It was like such an awesome, like there was this amazing mirroring between the backstage and the onstage of developing these very specific teenagers and these very specific relationships between all of them. And like every single day there would be a new like, well, I think I'm the guy, like I think I'm the guy who like when we were in 7th grade, like I said that one thing to you, and then like that like stuck with me as this like super important memory or whatever. And then it would be like the next day I'd be like, no, actually I think we hate each other. Like no, in 8th grade we like, so there's just all kinds of fun, just like a lot of freedom that allowed us all to just like play and be ourselves, which actually you don't find as much in the professional world very much, unfortunately. So it was really a sweet experience, and it's the first time I'd ever been to Salinas, California, and it totally opened its arms to me. I felt like really welcomed. Yeah, Nikki's repping, and just like, yeah, it's like so good to see all your faces. I haven't seen you guys, most of you guys since the show. I think I've gotten to see Annie in New York a couple times, and Michelle, we got to do another show together, but everyone else, it's like, come back to me. But I'm in Milwaukee, so don't come all the way out here. But yeah, it's just a good time. I'm really looking forward to catching up with you guys more.
Hi, I'm Michelle Skinner, and I play Sue Snell in Carrie the Musical. Gosh, this show, I feel like this show means this whole summer experience of being at the Western Stage and being with this cast and crew still is like one of my favorite shows to this day. It's still one of my groups that I've ever worked with. Like David said, David and I have worked together again. I've seen quite a lot of the cast, I feel like, since that time. And I do feel like one of the really special things was that ensemble, and was that ensemble building and kind of creating not only the really tight-knit group on stage, but also off. And I just felt like the entire time I knew these people had my back, and I knew that I was safe on stage no matter what was happening. So yeah, I like every once in a while, I'm like, God, I miss performing this show. I miss seeing these people. So it definitely has a very, very special place in my heart.
Hi, I'm Lydia Lyons. I had the great privilege to play Margaret White. Wow. I can't thank John enough for that. And I can't thank everybody in this cast enough for giving me the space to just be this woman. You know, so many times after the show when we were going out meeting the audience, they would come up to me and say, how can you be like that? Because that is really not who I am. Obviously, we all know that. But what an opportunity to get in the shoes and have the point of view of somebody who is so opposite of you. Although I was raised Catholic, I was not raised like that. And to have like this this point of view of this woman so obsessed with her point of view and dealing with her special daughter and just going all the wrong way with the whole thing. This show, I had heard the music years before, and I think I didn't see it anywhere, but I'd heard the music and was so attracted to the music, and having seen the movie versions, I thought, wow, what are they going to do with this? But the music was so great. It was so juicy. It was so delicious. And the scenes between me and my daughter were so just well crafted. I couldn't wait to get there and experience that with Annie. And what the coolest thing was being backstage, and because I didn't have scenes with anybody else until the end, right? So I was like backstage, and then I was with my daughter, and then I was backstage, and then I was with my daughter. And then in between, it'd be like the kids, you know, experiencing their lives and what that was like. It was just such a really interesting position to be in as an actor, to stay focused, and yet it was okay. I had a little space where I stayed, and then I'd wait to come on and do a scene with Annie and you know, wreak havoc all over. But it was probably, I'd put it right up there. It's number 1 or 2 of any theatrical experience I've ever had in my whole life. To be able to be in the shoes of a woman and sing this gorgeous music was, I could never. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for this opportunity. It was probably a highlight of my life, hopefully more, but that was working with these talented actors. I mean, David, Michelle, all you guys, it was, and the cast was so welcoming. So I look forward to any experience that could possibly get near how fabulous this was for me. I loved it every night, and I could have done that show for years. I could have experienced that cast and that experience for years. So thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Annie Hunt, and I played Carrie White in Carrie. And I have so many things I want to say because this show was just such a special experience, both on stage and off stage. I feel like this was probably my favorite experience, being with a cast and creating a show together, creating a world together, and just playing together. And also, I feel like I had the lucky position of having the best of both worlds. I got to be in more intimate scenes with Lydia and with David. And then I also got to kind of be on the outside of some of the bigger scenes and to interact with the entire cast. So it felt like I got to interact with everyone and have special moments with everyone. And Carrie was my first and only show at Hartnell, but I really felt incredibly welcomed there, and I felt like we had a family of artists there. And it was right after, just like Claire, right after my first year of college, and I was looking for something to do to continue my education, to continue to do what I love in the summer break. And I feel like I learned more doing Carrie than I learned at school my first year, because it was just such an enriching experience. Favorite memories. I also remember a lot of quick changes, like Claire said. I remember I had to like underdress like 4 different layers and like rip them off, and it was just it was like a whirlwind of a show, the whole show. And also I really liked when we staged the destruction, specifically in rehearsal, because it didn't feel like we were told what to do. It wasn't like John was like, oh, you do exactly this, and then everyone does exactly this. It was more of a collaboration between everyone. And I think that that was what, it's very rare to get to do something like that. And in future experiences after Carrie, I have rarely come across such an experience. It's much more restricting, and they want you to do it a specific way, and so Carrie has definitely got to be, even to this day, my favorite show. And I really loved hanging out with everyone, and I was really sad to go back to school after Carrie, but yeah, now I'm graduated, and I wish we could do it again. I wish we could do any theater again. But yeah, love you guys.
I remember when Annie came to audition, and this may be my own, rosy memory of it, but Heather, were you the casting director then? Because this was one, practically the minute she walked out into audition, I said, okay, we've got Carrie. And there was no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But I said to Heather, you have to get her. We have to have, it has to be that Carrie, or we're not going to do the show. Another thing that you guys mentioned, and that really means the world to me, is actors feeling that that I let them make their own choices, and do, and let them take chances and take risks. I learned a lesson really early on as a director, that if you tell actors specifically what you want them to do, if you show them how to do the line or how to do the business, they will never own it. They will always be showing you the flaw in that direction, because it's you, being me, not them. And so even if it is something that I'm absolutely sure that I want the actor to do, I will do everything I can to help them find that idea themselves.
If you like this video, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel or follow us on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter to get more episodes of Coming Home. See you next time.